This is CBC Here and Now.
Tonight, Sears is closing dozens of stores across Canada, including one on the West Coast.
It's an institution in Corner Brook. People turn to it to buy all kinds of things.
Donations are pouring in for the families of 2 men killed in a transmission tower collapse.
A triathlete from this province is ready to take it to the extreme in Alaska.
At the time, I was just like, this sounds like a really cool challenge and a good goal to set for myself.
We're getting close to weekend time. If you're making outdoor plans, you'll probably want to save it for Sunday. The details are coming up.
Well, there's a big blow to the national retail industry tonight, and it reaches right into this province.
Sears has announced it will close almost 6 dozen stores in Canada and eliminate 2,900 jobs as part of a court-supervised restructuring process. Shears and Sears Canada were halted this morning and shortly after the retailer was granted protection from its creditors. The move gives Sears 30 days to restructure itself.
Now, the company has seen a huge drop in its revenues compared to several years ago, mostly because of the rise in online retail. In this province, there is one closure in Corner Brook, and that's where our Colleen Connors is tonight.
The Sears store here in Corner Brook is still quite busy today. You can tell that there are still lots of long lineups at the cash registers and people are still shopping in the store. I'm hearing that staff are just finding out today that their store is closing. Now, this is the biggest store, the biggest department store in the Corner Brook Plaza. It's been here since the mall opened over 50 years ago, and it's been a staple for many West Coasters outside of Corner Brook as well. It's where many people come to get their furniture, their appliances, and clothing, of course. Now, Mayor Charles Pender is quite shocked by this move to close the Sears in Corner Brook. He says it's a big blow to the city because of job losses and for the economy.
It's obviously the effect of Sears right across North America, trouble they've been having for a while. We saw the same thing with Eaton's, we saw the same thing with Target and so on. So unfortunately, as a regional center, we tend to get the big retailers, and when they get hit by whatever the conditions are in the worldwide markets, we suffer from that as well.
Sears is closing dozens of stores across Canada. It's part of a restructuring program that's underway, and many stores close to here and in the Atlantic provinces are also closing in Truro, Nova Scotia and Dartmouth. And of course, it's all because Sears has seen a huge drop in revenue lately. Now, no one at the store here in Sears in Corner Brook wanted to talk to me today. They say they're not commenting just yet on the job losses or the closure. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
Donations are coming in for the families of 2 men who died in a workplace accident on Monday. Jared Moffat of Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, and Tim McLean of Nipawin, Ontario, were killed when a steel transmission tower fell over near Come By Chance. In less than 2 days, a GoFundMe page has raised more than $26,000 for Moffat's 6-year-old son. Another GoFundMe page for McLean has raised nearly $9,000. McLean had a wife and young children. The 2 men were employed by Alberta-based contracting company Forbes Brothers Limited. Work on the $300 million project has been temporarily suspended while an investigation is carried out.
The veteran is once again out of service. The troubled ferry is dry docked in St. John's. Repairs could take 2 to 3 weeks. The ship's hull was damaged by ice. Now, this was the scene on the run to Fogo last week. That's the route the veteran usually handles. For now, it's been replaced by its sister ship, the Legionnaire.
The Avalon Minor Hockey Association is going to be sued over allegations of sexual abuse by a former coach. The abuse is said to have happened in the mid-'80s. Here Now's Glenn Payette is on this story and has the details.
The man claims that when he was a boy playing hockey in 1986, his coach sexually abused him twice. He says the team was out of the province for a tournament when the incidents took place. The information is in an application filed at Supreme Court in St. John's. The details of the alleged abuse aren't given, but are referred to as sexual battery. In the application, the alleged victim asked the court to ban the publication of his name and to allow him to use the pseudonym John Doe in court proceedings. He says he wants to use the pseudonym to protect his privacy. He feels the publicity the case will generate could worsen the social and psychiatric problems he is already dealing with. The coach is not named in the application. The man and his lawyers say the Avalon Minor Hockey Association is liable because it had authority over its volunteers, including the coach. CBC contacted the association and made them aware of the application. The association isn't commenting for now. The alleged sexual abuser is no longer coaching. Jeremy?
Thanks, Glenn. An inmate accused of trying to kill another inmate at the penitentiary in St. John's has been found fit to stand trial. 25-year-old Justin Jordan had undergone a 7-day psychiatric assessment. Jordan is charged with the attempted murder of Trent Butt. It's alleged Jordan stabbed him, but Butt wasn't seriously injured. Butt is charged with the murder of his 5-year-old daughter Quinn in Carbonear last year. Butt is slated to stand trial next March. Jordan, however, is due back in court at the end of the month.
Well, business people gathered in St. John's today to celebrate one of the founding fathers of Newfoundland and Labrador's oil industry, Brian Peckford. Now, the former premier has never been at a loss for words, and today he spoke at length about the challenges of establishing the Atlantic Accord with the federal government. Here and now's Mark Quinn reports.
It's one of the most famous lines that any Newfoundland politician has ever delivered, and prophetic too.
That one day the sun will shine, and have not will be no more.
That set the scene for the Atlantic Accord that ensured this province reaped the rewards of offshore development. Today, as gregarious and outgoing as ever, Peckford was thrilled to be back on the podium and in the spotlight. He's back in St. John's to be feted by NOYA, an association that acknowledges that it and its 600 members exist largely because of the work of Peckford and others.
The industry is literally based on the foundation of the Atlantic Accord.
Peckford talked about the history of the Accord, but he also issued a warning about protecting it now and in the future.
Those provisions which allowed for these things to happen must be enforced by the province and by the leadership of this country. We must not allow any dilution of what had happened in the Accord.
Peckford fears the federal government is about to slow down the environmental assessment process. He also worries that provisions protecting local oil industry suppliers will be eroded. And finally, he took the opportunity to suggest that the Atlantic Accord has done more for Newfoundland and Labrador than the very act of joining Confederation.
I mean, who would have ever believed it, that we could stand here today and say that something off Newfoundland is producing more money per year than what we're getting from the feds? As I said, the Smallwoodian concept of manna from heaven, and that was from Ottawa, was supplanted by something that we did ourselves. Right? Amazing, you know.
Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
Now, the former premier had plenty more to say during his appearance at the Oil and Gas Conference, especially when it comes to Muskrat Falls. And we'll have that coming up in about 40 minutes.
Speaking of Muskrat Falls, water in the reservoir is being released, but it's happening without a piece of safety equipment that Nalcor once deemed necessary. An agreement was made with Indigenous leaders that water levels would be lowered in the spring. That deal was upheld, and leaders are pleased. But was safety compromised to meet the deadline? Here and now's Katie Breen reports.
What's missing is a safety boom, a string of chains, pontoons, and anchors that was supposed to lie across the water and act as a barrier. The idea is that it would guide people on the water away from danger. Now, there's just signage. This drawing shows where the safety boom was supposed to span the Churchill River about a kilometer away from Muskrat Spillway, where water forcefully rushes through. Last month, Nalcor called the boom a necessary piece of safety equipment. It had said water would be held in the reservoir until mid-July in order to install it, but that was past the spring deadline promised to Indigenous leaders last fall. Today, all three leaders called the decision to uphold the commitment a win. With levels down, ways to reduce methylmercury can be looked at, like the possibility of clearing out some vegetation from the reservoir. Protesters who continue to keep government offices in Happy Valley Goose Bay closed are also pleased.
It's a lot better to lower the levels because you're cutting down on methylmercury, whereas that boom, I don't see the danger in that boom, that being such a safety thing as they say it is. It's good to have it, there's no two ways about it. It's good to have there, but the methylmercury is more dangerous.
The group, though, still has its reservations about the project. It's pleased this promise was kept, but it's putting pressure on so the rest of the deal is kept too. The Premier wouldn't do an interview today, but said in a statement to CBC he's pleased to uphold his commitments to Indigenous leaders. In terms of safety without a boom, he says that will be left to Nowcor. The Crown Corporation is holding a media briefing tomorrow. Katie Breen, CBC News, Happy Valley Goose Bay.
The provincial government says it will help the people who are losing their jobs at the shrimp plant in Twillingate. Notre Dame Seafoods won't be reopening the plant. It normally employs about 100 people during peak times. The Fish Food and Allied Workers Union says the company has told employees the closure is permanent because of declining shrimp stocks. The town predicts the closure will mean devastation for Twillingate since the plant is considered a pivotal piece of the local economy. The province plans to make transition assistance available.
Some good news at the pumps. There's another drop coming this week. The PUB has lowered the maximum price of gas by 3 cents a litre. That puts regular gas at about $1.17 on the Avalon. Diesel, furnace and stove oil are also down by just over a cent a litre.
Newfoundland singer-songwriter Amelia Curran has been forced to cancel a tour of the United Kingdom after she was denied entry at London's Heathrow Airport on Monday. Curran was all set to perform 12 shows to promote her latest album, Watershed. The problem was her sponsorship visa wasn't in order, so she couldn't be cleared to legally work in the UK. Curran says the person who normally takes care of her sponsorship visas was suspended from issuing them for international artists. But she's taking it in stride, saying the UK is going through a lot of changes, and this is one they didn't catch in time. Despite being disappointed and frustrated by having to cancel everything, Curran plans to try a UK tour next year with the proper visa. Coming up, as part of our in-depth look at Natuashish, we take you inside the classroom to see what teachers are doing to keep kids from dropping out.
So far this year alone, there have been 5 sexual assault complaints where the suspect is believed to be a taxi driver. Who's keeping track of who's behind the wheel? A CBC News investigation has learned there are serious gaps in oversight of who's driving your cab.
Welcome back. It is time now for the weather, and a lot of people are talking about last night's sunset, which was spectacular.
Yeah, and you know, yeah, I missed it as well, but I kind of didn't miss it because it seemed everybody and their dog posted a picture to Twitter and to other social media sites about it. So thank you for letting me and Carolyn see it through your eyes.
Let's share some of the photos that we saw. Oh, look at this.
That's pretty stunning.
This is from Alyssa Hodder. She took it last evening from Topsail Beach.
And here's a shot of the summer solstice sunset from southeast Placentia. Now that was sent to us by Rosemary Murphy, and it was taken by her daughter Erin.
And this gorgeous shot is from Carbonear. Jackie Smith said it looks like the sky is on fire, and it really does. The colors are amazing.
Great.
And we also want to show you this really cool video, also from Carbonear. Tammy Rice Piteco sent this in. Now, she called it a rainbow at night. And I had never heard of that, so I did a little bit of Googling, and there is actually such a thing. It's called a moonbow. Have you ever heard of a moonbow?
No, never.
It's a lunar rainbow created when moonlight reflects and refracts off water droplets in the air. So I don't know if that's what it is, but it certainly looks like it could be.
Well, it sounds scientific enough to be believable.
What a beautiful, sight it was last night, and that makes it even more special.
Gorgeous. Thank you so much for sending that in. Well, let's get right to the weather and find out what is on the way. Right now in central parts of the island, there are some thunder showers happening for central and the northeast coast. So that is expected to continue into this evening. So keep that in mind if you're going to be heading outdoors. We're in for a rainy Saturday. Pretty much everyone is going to see rain on Saturday, but Sunday is going to clear off in the afternoon. So like I mentioned earlier, if you are planning anything on the weekend, you'll probably want to save it for Sunday. And I'm sure everyone along the south coast is so relieved that this fog advisory has been lifted. It's still in place for the southern parts of the Avalon, though, so near zero visibility in some places there, so you'll want to turn your car lights on if you're heading out onto the roads. That's expected to stay in place until tomorrow evening, so we have a bit of a showery evening. Lots of showery patches right across the island and Labrador throughout tonight into tomorrow morning. Those are the thunder showers that are expected to continue in central, and temperatures in the low double digits and some single digit temperatures tonight on the island, and cool up along the Labrador coast with some showers, just 1 degree in Nain overnight tonight. And the winds are starting to ease a little bit, so that's pretty good. Looking ahead to Friday, it's going to be pretty nice. You can see a few showers that are coming through throughout the day, but here in St. John's, we're looking at a nice start to Friday. It's going to be about 12 degrees with some sun and cloud. There is a chance we could see some showers throughout the afternoon, but nothing major, and the temperature will be around 18, and it'll be nice and warm tomorrow evening if you're heading out. Some sun and clouds, so it's looking pretty good so far. So like I say, a chance of showers for much of the east tomorrow, much cooler along the coast still, where that fog advisory is in place, just 12 degrees as the high in Ferryland. And moving into central, pretty warm, but wow, Twillingate, what a drop in temperatures. It was only a few days ago that it was like 30 degrees, 37 with the humidex there, and now on Friday you're looking at a high of just 8 degrees with potential for some showers. Much warmer though as you head south into Grand Falls, Windsor, and Gander. Looking over to the west coast, some nice light winds coming in from the southwest. Chance of showers there as well. Temperatures nice and comfortable at 21 in Humber Valley as the high for tomorrow. Cooler as you go up along the straits, looking at single-digit temperatures for most places, especially along the coast. Some showers there tomorrow. 7 degrees in Cartwright as the high tomorrow. For the rest of Labrador, of course, it's going to stay cool along the coast here still, just 7 degrees in Nain and Makovic, and Happy Valley Goose Bay just getting up to 12 degrees with a chance of showers pretty much everywhere for tomorrow. So I'll get into your long range a little bit later.
It is a challenging time for the Muskrat Innu school in Natuashish, in a town that is struggling with addiction and tragedy. The school is trying to improve the standard of education for its children. Past reports have said the curriculum is watered down and students are having issues with literacy and attendance. But educators in Natuashish have been working hard to counter those findings. Here now's Jacob Barker reports.
This grade 1 class is learning to read and write.
How many syllables does it have? My.
You got it, good job.
There is a lot of energy, but it kind of keeps you energetic too.
Intensive language arts. You know why that's important to learn?
So we read. We all learn to read.
An important, if not the most important focus for these students.
It is a second language for them, that we do want that focus for them to have as many opportunities if they choose to leave as if they stayed. So just to get them bilingual in reading and writing is our main focus.
Kelly Moraze has been teaching in Natuashish for 5 years now. Today, the kids are getting an Innu language lesson from a fellow student. William Rich is in grade 7. He helps out whenever he can because it's important.
That's our language. We can't forget that.
So it's important for you to keep your culture going too, hey?
Yeah.
Administrators here at the school say that they feel things have been moving in a positive direction. In fact, they've been seeing a lot of students that have dropped out come back and trying to complete their education.
59 eligible students in high school, and right now we have 40 of them coming to school. Last year it was around 18. So that is a big increase. But still, I don't look at those numbers until it's 59. Hello, young man.
Derek Fewer is principal of the Muskrat Innu school. If there's one word to describe him, it's positivity.
It's a family affair putting a Band-Aid on. They can. It's not a cliche. They can achieve whatever they want to achieve. They're exceptionally bright individuals. And the fact that they know 2 languages by grade 1 is a strong indicator of that.
In his 8 years at the school, he's seen a lot of change from the academic achievement to the size of the school.
The fact that we had to buy 3 portable classrooms is an indication that our population is growing.
It's a holistic approach, doing whatever necessary to get kids in the class.
That's even going meeting them at their house, meeting them over at the store. I always talk to them, tell them that they're always welcome back.
The level of achievement also rising according to the principal. Right now the school only offers regular courses. Next year, that's changing.
We're bringing in 4 academic courses for September because these students want to do them. They want to do the advanced math.
And the push is on for more Innu staff in the school. A few years ago, 13 Innu were on staff. Now that's about 34. It includes the school's 2 vice principals, Panache Rich and Nora Pestine. They see motivation as a big part of their job.
Sometimes kids get really frustrated, but we talk to them, encourage them to come.
And when it comes to motivators, money talks.
They can have jobs, work. If they finish whatever they want to accomplish, they can make good money for if they're looking for work.
5 students are graduating this year, and next year there could be as many as 16, a record for the school. I guess does that give you a lot of pride? Yeah. Pride in the kids, pride in the school. The hope is that pride spills out across the community, and when that takes hold, it could lead to a whole new direction for Natuashish. Jacob Barker, CBC News, at the Innu Muskrat School in Natuashish.
Well, that's encouraging. Things in the school system are obviously moving in the right direction. The dropout rate is lower, so good.
Good, and we want to thank, that wraps up his Jacob Barker's series from Natuashish, so we want to thank Jacob for all those stories. A Grand Falls Windsor man is getting ready to travel to Alaska to take on an extreme challenge. We'll tell you all about Ben Haley coming up on Here and Now. Welcome back to Here and Now. In the triathlon world, you have a few options. There's the sprint, the 750-meter swim, 20-kilometer bike ride, and a 5K run. Then there's the standard, which is what you see at the Olympics, which is 1,500-meter swim, 40K bike ride, followed by a 10-kilometer run. There's also the Ironman, which is a nearly 4-kilometer swim, 180 kilometers on your bike, and running for 42 kilometers, which is the length of a marathon. But for some people, like fitness instructor Ben Haley, he's taking it to extreme levels. Next month, Haley will head to Alaska with his mother and girlfriend as his support team.
I signed up for a extreme tri, and that's called Alaska Man, and that's going to be July 15th, so a couple weeks out right now. And basically, it's the same distance as an Ironman, but the conditions that we race in are very different from a normal Ironman.
So what are the distances and what are the differences?
So the distances for that race is a 4.2 kilometer swim, a 180K bike ride, and a 43.5 kilometer run. The big difference between an extreme tri and a normal Ironman race, I guess there's three big things that stand out to me from doing it. The waters are extremely cold, so we're swimming in the ocean in Alaska. So as you can imagine, it's pretty cold. I think it's around 54 degrees Fahrenheit. The elevation is a big part of it. So for the entire race with the bike and the run, the elevation is over 10,000 feet of climbing. So 6,000 of those feet are on the run, and 4,000 feet are on the bike ride. But the last 10 kilometers of the run are 4,000 feet of elevation. So if you look at the bike ride overall, it's 4,000 feet, 180 kilometer distance wise. In the last 10K of the run, it's the same thing as a bike, but 4,000 feet, right?
So Ben, anybody listening to you talk about this, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Why did you want to do this?
Last summer, one of my buddies was on a website, and this was a new race. It's never been done before in Alaska, and it's kind of based off a series that they do in Europe, an extreme tri series. So I think this is the first one actually in North America, and she just seen it and kind of messaged me and said, "Is this something that you would want to do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I didn't really think about it much at the time. I was just like, "This sounds like a really cool challenge, and a good goal to set for myself." And I just signed up. It like literally 5 minutes and that was it.
I gotta ask, Ben, how many hours a week do you spend training for an event like this?
When I started, it was between 12 and 15. But the closer you get to your event, you want to increase the volume. So I'm up to about 20 hours a week right now. And I'll have probably one more 20-hour week, and then I'll go through a taper week, or two weeks of taper, sorry. So I'll drop my volume down approximately 30%, and then another 20% in that last week. And that allows recovery before I go into the race.
So if you're training for an event where you have to ride your bike for 180 kilometers, do you ride your bike for 180 kilometers in practice? Have you done that recently?
Yeah, my rides, I do one long ride a week, and that can range anywhere from 100K to 180K. So I've done one 180K ride throughout my program, and I'll probably try to get one more in before the race.
How long does it take you to ride 180 kilometers on a bike?
The one I did, the last 180K ride I did was 7.5 hours. So yeah, it's like a full day, right? You take a Saturday, you start off early in the morning, and you just go
punch in 8 hours on the old bike. Yeah. So I gotta ask you, like, do you have a group that you train with? Is there like other people in the program with you, or is it just you?
Sometimes I train with a group, but for me personally, I like to be as race specific as I can. So in this race that I'm doing, like, there's only 300 people registered. Over the distance that we're doing, there's probably going to be a lot throughout that race where I'm not going to see anybody. So for me, I like to train by myself, because that's kind of what I'm going to be doing when I'm in Alaska. I'm just going to be all by myself, biking, running, and swimming. So it's really about the mental focus for me.
So you got a few weeks to go, Ben. Do you have any goals? Like, we'll be crossing the finish line. I know it's your first time, so you get a personal best, but do you have any goals? Like, I want to do it in this amount of time, or?
I've thought a little bit about kind of how I want to do and the times that I want to place in, but I don't think too much about it. Like right now, I think I just want to finish it. So as you said, it is my first ever Ironman. and I kind of jumped right into an extreme. So I just want to finish. If I can get to the top and get the medal, perfect. The finisher's medal, I'm happy with that.
Up next, a helping hand. We'll tell you about a free furniture program that's making a big difference in some people's lives.
Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, comfort and dignity, they may not be the essentials of life, but if all you have to sleep on is a floor, then those things become pretty important. There's an organization on the Northeast Avalon called Home Again, and it believes providing simple comfort and dignity to people struggling through tough times can change lives, and they're doing that one piece of furniture at a time. It's a big day for Andrew Brazel. It's moving day. He's moving out of the homeless shelter into his own apartment, a truckload of donated furniture to help him make a fresh start.
I'm speechless, I guess. Everything just fell in place. Like, just 2 weeks ago, I didn't have no apartment, no furniture, no nothing. So it's a new beginning, I guess.
The 34-year-old has been struggling with homelessness, staying at the Wiseman Center in St. John's.
Well, I suppose a lot of stuff led up to where I've been. A lot of smaller stuff just adds up. But yeah, like I said, when I broke my leg 2 years ago and I lost my apartment, and then I was just bunking with friends and family until then, right? They were helping me out, great help.
Now he's getting help from strangers. Volunteers at the organization Home Again, who do this every Friday, they collect donated furniture and deliver it to people in need.
TV stand?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Staff and volunteers at Home Again have delivered furniture to 400 people in the past year and a half, and they say everyone has a different story to tell.
Some people that are in dire straits, they have a blanket on the floor, and we go in with sofa, bed, table and chairs, coffee table, linens, dishes, all sorts of different things.
We see a huge assortment of people ranging from families with young children to people exiting homelessness, newcomers to the community, to senior citizens who have been here for their entire lives. There's no typical furniture recipient whatsoever. It's a huge range. I guess the only thing is many are in transition from one period of their lives to another, and that transition is very difficult. And we hope that in providing free furniture, we make that transition a little bit smoother and help them move on with their next steps.
Everybody may at some point find themselves in need. And you may have resources, you might have family and friends that will help you out. Not everybody is that fortunate. So, you know, sometimes they need people to step up and just help provide some comfort and dignity.
Sean Murphy knows how quickly life can take a turn.
April was when everything really hit the fan. I had been working at HMV in the mall, and they had closed, and then my separation was within the same, like a couple of days apart from each other, and then because of that, I was out of that house, and it was, yep, it's been a rough one.
Rough for him and for his 3 children.
3 children, yeah, an 11-year-old girl, a 7-year-old boy, and a 4-year-old girl, so it's pretty busy. I was actually struggling trying to find beds for my kids. And I mean, I can't afford anything right now. And on the weeks that I have my children, I get to spend the day with them, but they would have to sleep at my parents' house. But now, yeah, they're all pretty excited that they're going to get to have a sleepover at Dad's new house. So,
a precious gift from a donor Murphy will never meet.
They are definitely the real heroes here, because without them, well, Homigan wouldn't really have anything to bring over here. So whoever it was, thank you very much.
The weather update is brought to you by Belltone Hearing Service St. John's, helping the world hear better.
What a wonderful program.
It really is, you know, and if you're interested, if you have, you know, a bed or dresser or bookcase, they're looking for all kinds of stuff. If you want to donate any of it, you can go to the Homigan website. I think we have it to put on the screen there. So they do charge a $25 pickup fee just to pay for the transportation costs and stuff, but you'll be helping out people like Sean Murphy and Andrew Brazel, so it's lovely, and their families.
Great piece, Carolyn.
Oh, thanks. Well, let's have a look at the
Let's
weather.
have look at some great weather, perhaps.
Yes, and we're getting so close to the weekend, so that always gets me really excited. So let's just quick recap of what's happening tomorrow. It's not too bad of a day. Chance of showers in most places tomorrow. In St. John's, we're looking at about 19 as the high, and 20 for central areas. Cooler up in St. Anthony, about 9 degrees as the high tomorrow. And in Labrador, Lab City looking at 16 as the high, 12 in Happy Valley, Goose Bay. But like I say, chance of showers for pretty much everyone tomorrow. And then we have this big old system that's heading our way, and that's going to put literally a damper on Saturday. So this is Saturday at about 6 a.m. You can see this all starting to move in on the island. By the time we get to about 1 o'clock, it's just pretty much everywhere. Everyone's going to be seeing these showers. Heaviest showers expected along the south coast, maybe about 30 millimeters there. So that will continue on throughout the day. Here we are at supper time on Saturday. Still lots of rain there. So here it is, just rain right across the board. Temperatures not too bad. We're in the upper teens on the island, a little bit cooler in Labrador. 15 as the high there on Saturday, but then Sunday things start to clear off nicely. So Saturday night, it all starts to move off here, and going into Sunday morning, we could see some showers, but then it'll just move away, and we'll have a fairly nice Sunday afternoon for most places. Now, there is a chance of showers in the morning, so 17 as the high on Sunday. In Central, 23 as the high, 20 on the West Coast, and chance of showers as well in Labrador with temperatures in the mid-teens. So starting off the work week in the east, 22 degrees with sun and cloud. Temperatures not too bad, looking ahead to next week in the 20s or so, and then there are some more showers coming during next week. And similar situation in Labrador, not too cold, but you do have some of those lower temperatures, those 15 degrees, and some wet weather as well, continuing for Labrador.
Let's meet our young athlete of the day who comes to us from Bay Bulls. This is Taylor Windsor, who's 7 and has been involved in gymnastics since she was 2 years old.
Taylor competed for the first time in March at the Cygnus Snow Bowl and placed first in all 4 routines.
Amazing job, Taylor, and that's why you are our Young Athlete of the Day.
All I know is that whatever can be done to rescue this thing and not cost any more money has to be done.
Up next, the former premier has some strong words about the Muskrat Falls project. Welcome back once again. As you saw earlier in the program, Brian Peckford was a keynote speaker today at NOIA's annual Oil and Gas Conference in St. John's. Afterwards, the former premier spoke with reporters and he had some strong words about the Muskrat Falls mega project.
I get up every morning now and I can't believe that the Upper Churchill, all the benefits went to Quebec. 500 million a year that we should be getting, just at a very reasonable price for electricity. And then the bottom part of the river, people in Nova Scotia are going to get power from there cheaper than us. Don't think very much of it. I'm not so close to it as to know all the technical details, but you know, a big mistake was made that didn't. It was funny, both coasts. Out in BC, Site C, the government exempted it from the Public Utilities Board. And here, they exempted it from the Public Utilities Board. And in both cases, the environmental review that was done, both panels on the environmental review, both in BC and here, had recommended, before this goes ahead, put it through a public review. I mean, you imagine the irony of it all. The book ends of the country, both failing the people in their governance procedures, right, over a major billions and billions of dollar project. So I don't know what can be done now, because I'm not close enough to it. All I know is that whatever can be done to rescue this thing and not cost any more money has to be done. And I don't know, because through that public review, it would have been found that you really, you know, it was exaggerated. The electrical demand was exaggerated, and with a few gas turbines in the interim, we could have, because you know, the United States is becoming, without any Paris Agreement or without any Kyoto, becoming far more, right, cleaner through closing down coal and oil plants and opening up natural gas, which is far less pollutant. And, there's a lot to be said for that. And when everybody talks about green, I always get a little bit concerned when they talk about hydro as being green. A lot of land has been flooded. And, I don't know. One has to be very careful about that. So it was very sad that it didn't go through an a public review process, because I think it would have been shown through that scrutiny that what we did we shouldn't have done.
Do you think it's too big now to be stopped?
It could, quite likely. I don't know. Mr. Marshall, I've heard his comments on it, but it's very sad. I mean, it's lovely that we can come and celebrate something that did work, like the Accord, and then have to answer questions on the other side, which are legitimate questions, which you have to ask, and you must ask, on something like hydro, because we got to look at it all, not just at what was successful.
The next time you pick up a block of cheddar at the grocery store or a tub of yogurt, you might see a warning symbol on the front. It's all a part of Health Canada's strategy to encourage you to eat better and not choose foods high in sugar, salt, or saturated fat. But as Susan Lund tells us, the industry says the federal government is focusing too much on what is bad for you and not enough on a balanced diet.
You've been here after work looking for something quick for dinner. So has the federal health minister.
I know how busy I am as a mom. I do grocery shopping and I'm flying through the aisles quickly.
She wants to make it easier to pick foods that are good for you and avoid ones high in sugar, salt, and saturated fat. So new warning symbols, stop signs, or triangles are coming to the front of many food packages, including some cheese and yogurt.
You know what the yogurt section looks like. There's hundreds of different kinds of yogurt. So how do you figure out quickly, oh, this kind is actually a high sugar product, I might not choose that.
Canada's dairy farmers don't like that, saying it focuses too much on what is bad.
There's zinc, there's potassium, there's a vitamin B, vitamin C. There's a lot of other nutriments that needs to be comprehend when you're thinking about a balanced diet.
Food manufacturers aren't happy either. CBC obtained a report they presented to Health Canada in May, outlining concerns those warning symbols will leave the public with the perception that there is inherent danger from consuming the product. The new packaging could cost $1.8 billion, but Philpott says there's also the health cost of people eating too much sugar and salt, and she says there's one way industry can avoid the warning labels.
Maybe they should make it with a little bit less sugar or salt. That'll be to Canadians' benefit.
No final decisions have been made on any of these changes. Health Canada is still consulting with industry and the public. Susan Lund, CBC News, Ottawa.
There is a major revelation in that deadly high-rise fire in London. Britain's Prime Minister says that about 600 high-rises in England have the same flammable covering as the Grenfell Tower.
I should of course be careful on speculating what caused this fire, but as a precaution, the government has arranged to test cladding in all relevant tower blocks. Mr. Speaker, shortly before I came to the chamber, I was informed that a number of these tests have come back as combustible.
People who escaped the flames pointed the finger at the cladding on the high-rise from the very beginning, describing how flames raced up the outside high-rise, engulfing the entire building in just minutes. 79 people are dead or missing and presumed dead in the fire. Theresa May says urgent steps are being taken to make sure high-rises with cladding are safe.
There are some frank comments by Prince Harry that are making news around the world. In an interview with Newsweek, Harry talked about the lasting anguish of his mother's funeral and the obligations of being a member of the royal family. Harry criticized the decision that forced him to walk behind his mother's coffin during her funeral. He also said no one in Britain's royal family wants to be king or queen, and that the royals carry out such duties for the greater good.
More video has been made public from the night in 2016 when Philando Castile was shot and killed by a police officer. It's from inside the squad car and shows Castile's girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds, who was handcuffed after the shooting. Her 4-year-old daughter is with her and tries to comfort her mother. Now, a warning, this might be difficult to watch.
I can't believe they just did this.
It's okay, I'm right here with you. Mom, please help send customers to scream because I don't want you to get shielded.
Okay, give me a kiss.
I can keep you safe.
It's okay, I got it, okay? I can't believe they just did that.
I wish this town was safer. I don't want it to be like this anymore.
Police officer Geronimo Yanez was acquitted of manslaughter last week in Philando Castile's death.
The FBI says it is treating yesterday's stabbing at an airport in Flint, Michigan as a terror attack. A Canadian man who's originally from Tunisia has been taken into custody. It's alleged Amour Fatoui stabbed an officer in the neck with a knife. Investigators say there's no evidence Fatoui was part of a wider plot. Quebec police were also looking into his ties to a Montreal neighborhood. Tropical Storm Cindy is now downgraded to a tropical depression, but it's still a threat to a wide area of the U.S. Gulf Coast.
The system made landfall near the Texas and Louisiana border and is making its way north and east. Despite the downgrade, the system is expected to bring more rain and flooding.
So Carolyn, she's going to be back with one last look at your local weather right after this break.
Welcome back to Here and Now. A minor league baseball team in Texas has a new member, Brooks, the bat dog in training. Brooks may be a good boy, but when it comes to retrieving a bat, he doesn't quite have the hang of it yet. And I've been told that you should not get in his way when he's running the bases, or Brooks just might take you out. There he goes. Look at him. He's pretty good. He missed the bag, but there goes, down goes the kid. He's rounding second. He's coming into third.
I would say the owner of that dog
Boom!
loves that dog.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Okay, a lot of teachers and students spent the morning saying their goodbyes as this was the last day of school for many young people in the province. At Lakewood Academy in Glenwood, staff sent the kids home in a pretty unusual way. Have a look at how they wrapped up the year.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna laugh. Yo, students, sit up and listen. Got a special message before you don't miss it. Last day of school is here, and I want to say thanks for the wonderful year. This whole year has been a blast. I can't believe it has gone so fast. Lakewood, the best school on the planet. It's so awesome, I can hardly stand it. Work so hard each and every day. The best students ever. What more can I say? Staff is amazing and love you so. On this last day, it's hard to let you go. The students, parents, and teachers rule. Have a straight summer and stay cool. Cool. The best. Lakewood's 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 the best.
Well, they clearly had a lot of fun doing that. A nice flashback to Vanilla Ice. Nice. All right, so quick recap of what's coming in the forecast for tomorrow and Saturday. You can see lots of showers, chance of showers in most places tomorrow, but everyone is going to see some showers on Saturday. Temperatures in the mid to upper teens on the island and in the mid-teens there in Labrador. So before we leave you, I just want to show you this nice piece of ice. Isn't that gorgeous?
Looks like there's like a heart.
That is exactly what
Iceberg with a heart. I was right.
Beverly Scott actually sent this in, so you can see the heart shape in that iceberg. But when I look at it and I turn my head to the side, I see kind of a bit of an alien there.
It just reminds me of all those rock formations in Australia that you see.
Yes.
The red. Amazing, amazing.
Great.
Thank you.
Love the pictures, love the icebergs. Keep them coming to Ryan's Facebook page.
Have a great night, everyone. See you tomorrow.
Good night.